right, guys, let's jump back into the teams for a second. The AFC South. Let's talk about our beloved Texans.
Yeah, man.
Listen, you shouldn't be starting.
Oh, real quick. You know what? We're actually about to get to it.
What?
But I'm going to just throw it in there just because it was on my mind. James O'Shaughnessy is a tight end you could probably consider starting a pinch right now.
People forget.
Yeah.
Especially with Dan Arnold gone.
Yeah, Dan Arnold gone. So.
Well, let's just go ahead and just jump to the Jags right now. Listen, the Jags stink, man. I mean, I'm sorry. James Robinson
nothing's going well with them, huh?
No.
Is James Robinson doing okay?
James Robinson is doing okay, but he's a little banged up, and so you don't know if he's going to be healthy week to week, and you can't start Carlos Hyde at this point. So if it's not James Robinson, I'm not starting anybody from the Jags.
I got some guys, though, a sleeper. No,
Here we go.
I got a guy.
You were on Jamal Agnew, so I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm
Here's
listening.
how you know when somebody's trying to sell you on something. They load him. Hey, bro, I got some guys.
Listen.
Just
All right. Who you got? What you got?
Okay, so again, Agnew, he's gone to pasture. We had to let him go.
All right.
And everybody's been like, okay, finally, this might be Laviska Shenault's time. But that's not what's happening.
No.
What's actually happening, and this is a shock to me, is Laquan Treadwell is having a revival. The former first-round pick for the Vikings.
Okay.
He's getting the work, that number 2 wide receiver, which, I don't know, Marvin Jones, I guess, is number 1. But Laquan Treadwell is the other wide receiver. He's getting work. So, again, if you're in a pinch at wide receiver, he's a guy you can look at. Just putting it out there. But the Jags as a whole, the offense is not
they
somebody.
played the Rams this week, so good luck with that one.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
But
if they're playing the Rams, that also means they're going to probably have to pass the whole game, right? So what's going on with Trevor Lawrence? Is he the guy?
Bad. He looks bad.
Is he the future?
Oh, he's got to be. I mean,
he has to be the future. He's the number 1 draft pick.
He could be Baker. Baker in the future. We don't think.
remember,
but they're probably going to franchise Baker.
Yeah.
But
you think they'll franchise Baker?
Yeah, but okay,
if Baker, did we talk about the Browns already? We did.
Right.
If Baker misses another game this year and Colt McCoy goes in and lights it up again,
ooh,
do you think Baker is around next year?
No.
Colt McCoy.
If Colt McCoy,
no, not Colt McCoy. Case Keenum.
Case, yeah.
U of H legend, yeah.
Legend.
U of H legend. He is a legend. Go look at his number. He's a legend for us.
UT. Come on now.
Yeah. No, but do you think he's around? Because I don't.
No.
Case Keenum is not a Super Bowl quarterback.
He's not, but
I think what that will do, it'll show that Baker's not the answer.
That actually, what they could do is they could just lean on Case Keenum until they find
the guy.
Yeah.
I think this offseason there's going to be a lot of available quarterbacks. We've mentioned all these current quarterbacks that are probably going to move to different teams, but there are also going to be rookies that come in as well. Yeah. So there's going to be an influx of new quarterback options. So I don't think it's going to be too difficult for teams to move on from their quarterback. But anyway, back to Trevor Lawrence. Is he the guy? Like, do y'all see? Because he's one of the highest touted.
I think so.
So
honestly, I genuinely think so.
I don't know. I hate myself for this because I never saw the allure with Trevor Lawrence as being the number 1. Like, it's him being like this, like, people were like,
overwhelming.
Andrew Luck.
Generational talent.
Yeah. But then I fell in love with the shiny object of what the Jags offense could be because, like, theoretically, they had all these weapons. And so then I became, like, a Trevor Lawrence fan. But this is why college football, at least for me, and I have difficulty with this, it's so hard to evaluate is because when people tell me about these great players, I'm like, well, they played for Alabama or they played for Clemson. And like same thing with ETN. Like this is why I was like, I mean, I don't know. Like they play in these like amazing, great offenses.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really hard to like really evaluate. But I never, like when I was watching, Trevor Lawrence play in college, I never really saw those like NFL throws, where he sort of kind of, put the,
I think it was just him beating Alabama. Because at that time, that was such a difficult thing for anybody to do. Deshaun Watson did it once. He failed once, and then he did it the next year. Yeah. And we saw what Deshaun Watson was able to be. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence did it as well. And I think Trevor Lawrence did it better than Deshaun Watson. And everybody just, again, he was such a highly touted quarterback coming out of high school. I don't know.
He was always the number 1 recruited quarterback. So him and Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll take the L on that. I definitely touted the Jags offense as being a potential or Trevor Lawrence himself being a potential option. Because I was also hoping that they were going to run with them. Like that was the biggest thing is I was like, okay, like he's mobile. He's not like not Lamar, but he's mobile. But they really haven't been doing that. So,
all right, so let's move to the Texans for a bit. This is not a fantasy question. This is just us being Texans fans, as you wear like a Texans hat
all the time.
Right. Yeah. Is David Mills the starting quarterback next season?
I think he is.
I mean,
I think he is.
But you don't think that we can get anybody in free agency?
It depends. I mean, if we're able to, this is the thing. If we're able to trade, ideally we're getting somebody back, and there's a competition there, and then hopefully Davis Mills can kind of sit back and learn, and then maybe he comes in as an injury. So whether we trade with Miami or trade with Philadelphia, I'm even okay getting Gardner Minshew back. But getting somebody back, at some point you got to start building. This was like this year they just broke everything.
You believe
down.
in Gardner Minshew. This is like your third reference.
I do not believe in Gardner.
This is your third reference to Gardner Minshew.
He's one of those quarterbacks. He's in the same class. Remember when I was talking about Trevor Siemian? You get him out there for a game or two, they're gonna look okay. But I
think he's way better than Siemian.
He's better than Siemian. But what I'm saying is you can only go so long with Gardner Minshew before realizing
he's exposed.
The reason I say Davis Mills is going to be the quarterback is really not anything to do with Davis Mills or the quarterback. I think because I do believe the Texans are going to draft highly in the draft this year. I don't think there's very good quarterback prospects in the draft this year. I think the best quarterback prospects are actually in 2023. You have your Bryce Youngs. You have those type of quarterbacks that are coming out. I see them probably saying, look, we want to give Davis Mills one more go at it. And then we even know even if he fails, that'll give us a better chance of having a high pick. And then we can get that real quarterback of the future and like a Bryce Young, who is really who I'm hoping they get. That's kind of how I see it. Now, if somebody falls into their lap, they're always going to try to have a competition. So if somebody does come in, like you said, Gardner Minshew, if Tua actually ends up here somehow, other quarterbacks, if they eventually end up here and they beat out Davis Mills, so be it. But I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback next year. I think that's really what I'm really kind of getting to.
Yeah. So is any?
Go ahead.
Is anyone worth starting other than Brandon Cooks on that offense?
So what I was gonna say is, and I'm glad you said that question is, don't if you're in a pinch, and we keep saying these comments a lot. If you're in a pinch, I think Rex Burkhead has a little bit of value as a running back. They're using him a lot. They got rid of Phillip Lindsay. I don't think Royce Freeman got any work this last game.
He did not.
From that New England tree.
He's getting the goal line. I mean, he's getting the between the tackle carries. He's catching the ball.
I'll tell you one player that I'm adding.
Nico?
Okay, two players that I'm adding. For FFPC purposes, like entering the tournament. Nico is one.
Brevin.
Especially on teams where I feel like I have Cooks, because these teams like this worry me. Teams that are at the very bottom and basement who have no sights of the playoffs, they worry me. So Brandon Cooks worries me. So having someone like Nico Collins, if Brandon Cooks just a little tweak of the ankle and they say, you know what, just sit out, bro. In fact, go on IR. At least you have someone that you can plug in his place, and he's a young, upcoming talent. And then it should also set you apart from the field. But Scotty Phillips, and this is a dart throw from 30 yards away, because he's on IR right now, and it's a high ankle sprain, and this is never good for running backs. But the high ankle sprain occurred a while ago, and so
he should be coming back from that. If he's coming back soon, huh?
So we'll see.
So if you're gonna pick him up, you gotta pick him up next week.
Yeah, exactly. So that's some player that if I'm looking at my bench and I'm like, all right, man, this team looks like it needs a little bit of running back health. I may just take on a Scotty Phillips in the hopes that towards the end of the year they're just looking to see what because that was the initial plan, was to get Scotty Phillips. Featured and see what he could do. So.
And Scotty Phillips has some juice in him. Yeah. Real quick, Nico Collins. One good thing about him, or one thing you can say will increase his value, is Danny Amendola had surgery recently. He's going to be out for quite a bit, at least 4 weeks, maybe longer. That's one. Second thing is, 3 Texans are dealing with sickness at the moment. David Johnson, Chris Conley, a wide receiver, and Brandon Cooks. So they're not practicing right now. Next guy up is Nico Collins. So
All right.
just a deep steal. These are like $1, $2 bid type guys we're talking about now.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Colts. Listen, Jonathan Taylor, league winner.
I hope so.
I mean, running back one on the season, most likely.
Take me to that money.
But here's the thing, man. I mean, we're getting to the money weeks. He has a lot of carries. Are you still? I mean, Nyheim Hines. Is there a chance that he plays your Pollard from last year, where, hey, like he gets a little banged up from,
Anybody can get hurt any given week, but I'm not worried about that with Jonathan Taylor. He's still a young bred. To me, he looks like Zeke from a standpoint of how he's built and how much load he can take on without it affecting his overall play.
Yeah.
So I'm not even worried about it, and I don't necessarily know that Hines will definitely see an increase in usage, but they're also going to bring in other backs, whether that's Mack or somebody else. I don't know. But I think I do think Jonathan Taylor is a league winner.
One thing about Jonathan Taylor I'll say is when I've seen him recently, he's getting these carries, he's going through the line, and he's not even being touched.
It does seem like he's not even touched when
he's not even taking all that, those hits that you would be concerned about from a guy getting a lot of carries. It's like he's just running through space, and he has this track speed where, he's a big guy, but he's running like a scat guy. Yeah. And he's gone.
Number one overall pick, and it's not even a question.
Right. Next season?
Yes, not even a question. I don't care. And the idea of okay, is he going to be the number one? I don't even care if he's the number one overall. If he's going to finish as a top 6, top 7 back, he should be taking number one overall every single year. Until he starts to fall off.
You're going to find some way to talk yourself out of it
I'm
next year.
Because I talked myself out of it this year, and I'm obviously not happy about it.
All right, Tennessee Titans, they're on bye this week. Is there any chance that Hillard, reproduces what he did last week?
I think so. The talk was that they wanted to kind of feature him. He got the first couple of touches even before last week when Adrian Peterson was still on the roster. He got that first series. They did the same thing this week. He fumbled, and they still kind of went back to him, and then and he produced. But the thing about him is he's in terms of the backs that have pass catching ability, he's greater than Foreman. I think both will still be involved. I think both are need to be rostered, but I have him on quite a few teams, and I'm waiting, for those teams that make it to the tournament weeks. He's definitely going to be seeing my starting roster.
I think it's a simple mathematical question. Mm-hmm. What options are there besides Hilliard and Foreman? Mm-hmm. McNichols hasn't been playing. AP is gone. Mm-hmm. Who else is there to take the workload? Right. They're gonna keep running the ball because that's how their team is built. They don't even have any receivers to throw the ball to anymore, anyways.
But Julio should be back next week.
Yeah, he'll be back soon. But he probably gonna work his way back. Mm-hmm. And then the tight ends have all not really been consistent whatsoever. Yeah. You saw last week they were down against the Patriots and they were still running the ball. Yeah. And then like you said, as far as the passing work between the two, it is going to be Hilliard, which PPR passing or receiving back is like a cheat code. Hell yeah, Hilliard is going to keep that value. So definitely hold on to him and play him when it's time.
All right, so NFC South, Atlanta Falcons. Listen, I keep wanting to drop Mike Davis.
Oh, come on, man.
Look. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. Don't talk me into it. I'm not doing it.
When I went to that whole waiver wire rant, he was the guy that was
I'm not dropping him.
Can I pause for 1 second?
I'm not dropping him.
Can I pause for 1 second? We cannot talk about the Falcons without starting to talk about my boy Cordero Patterson.
I know. We were going to get there. I was
all his roses.
Slow rolling.
Just give him his roses first. Yeah. MVP of my fantasy season. Yeah, I'm going to buy his jersey, by the way.
What's your ownership percentage? I got to feel like that's a big reason why you are doing so damn well.
I'm close to 80%.
Yeah. Okay, so
close to 80%.
And it just takes that one, because last year that was Mike Davis for me.
Yeah,
last year that was Mike Davis for me. But like I said before, like I said last time, bro, I appreciate you. You put in some work, but here's your letter of resignation.
Here's the thing.
You got to be able to move on.
Here's the thing with Patterson, because I think I might just be making this up, but I think it's been a little bit of controversy on Twitter, or at least it's been a discussion where people are talking about how great of a pickup Elijah Mitchell is or was this season. But here's the thing with that. Elijah Mitchell, when people were picking up picking him up, they were spending a lot of their fab money to pick him up.
Oh yeah, they were blowing.
So I'm not saying he wasn't a bad pick, but you were really having to spend that dough to get him.
Yeah.
Right.
With Patterson, I was getting this dude for like $1, $2 bids.
Yeah.
You know, easily.
Yeah.
You know, so if you'd ask which is the better pickup, I think it's Patterson by far.
Oh,
I don't even think it's close.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what I think. Literally, like when you boil down this year as far as like the success stories and like who really did well, like in sort of in the mass entry tournaments. I think really it comes down to like who played that waiver wire the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because you could have drafted a great team by all accounts, but due to injuries, COVID, whatever, like we all are dealing with the same. There's no excuses. We all are dealing with the same things. But I think what it came down to this year was like who was able to really, play that waiver wire the best.
Right.
And picking up having 80% of Cordell Patterson. I mean, that's just disgusting.
Yeah, I remember the first episode. I snuck him on our main event team.
Yeah.
Snuck him on
You
that
did.
team. Abby
You
didn't
did.
want him. I snuck him on.
Did I say I didn't want him?
Well, I don't know if you didn't want him, but you did say you were going to consider dropping him.
Look, I don't have a lot of Cordell Patterson, so like,
Yeah.
who knows?
And our main event team got in the playoffs somehow.
yeah.
I don't even know how.
Probably because of Cordell
I
Patterson,
literally
for sure.
thought we didn't make it until the next one. I'm like, oh, we're in the playoffs. Let's go. Damn, what was I gonna say? Oh, he was my number one waiver, but my second best waiver pickup was Nick Folk. Let's go. Anyways.
Oh yeah.
Y'all can keep talking about the Falcons.
But we had so much fun. Like, Nick Folk.
I ain't never been excited about a kicker in all of our fantasy life.
Man, we had
but
so much fun.
Nick
on that.
That was
Folk.
the second thing. Winning the kicker.
Yeah.
Who were we using on Twitter?
No.
No.
What?
She's pretty well known. You should give her.
I don't think she's that. Okay, let's give her. We'll give her credit. Linda Lyons.
Yeah, man. Linda
It's like
comes through.
Dandelions, but Linda Lyons.
Yeah.
You will always.
She's a good follow too.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
an
cool.
excellent follow.
She's an
Yeah.
Oklahoma State fan, so I'm always seeing her Oklahoma State.
Linda,
tweets.
She's a good fellow.
Linda killed the
She's
game
probably
this
never
year.
gonna hear this either.
No.
She might never go. But
But she,
man,
hey, like honestly,
Hey.
like every week before waivers, she's like,
Yeah.
"What did Linda say?" to
she
do?
won me some money this year.
Yeah.
Honestly, she won me some money.
Yeah, cash out or something.
Maybe we'll see. All right, we'll see.
All right, let's talk about Carolina Panthers. Cam came in, had a splash week, sucked last week. I gave him all the bail in the world through the group chat just because I like Cam. But C-Mac is out. Chuba in. Is there anything that we should? Is Chuba? Here's a question: is Chuba a trap play?
Potentially, but from a standpoint, he should be rostered. You can definitely, if you need him, start him. But just like I brought it up last time, Amir Abdullah, okay, has been seeing a lot of work on the passing downs. They brought him in, and he was getting some work in the passing downs with Minnesota. And I think that's one reason why they brought him in as well.
And I think the coaching staff said that they wanted to get him more involved in the
Yeah,
offense.
so Amir Abdullah is actually one of my.
I think he's actually the better play than Chuba.
Yeah,
I think so.
He was one of my bigger. If you go back and look at the game logs, you're gonna see as far as like receptions, 5, 6, and then he had like one game. I think it was like when CMC just played like majority of the game, and then like another 5. Like he gets a lot of receptions, and he looks pretty good. Honestly, he's like Tony Pollard. When I think of like when I'm like thinking about the Tony Pollard type player, like that's who I think of, like Amir Abdullah. Tony Pollard, granted, Tony Pollard's a little bit better, but that's who I'm thinking of, and he's that type of player. If you can get him 10 to 12 carries, and then get him like involved in the passing game, he is definitely valuable.
So here's what I got to say about him. When C-Mac first went out and Chuba was like being that week winner for your fantasy team, people were playing him. He started off with a bang. Week 1, week 2, week 3, he was looking great. But then like week 4 and 5, his target or his snap share started to slowly come down a little bit.
Yeah.
And vice versa, Amir Abdullah started to go up a little bit. And I think it was a situation where one game he did something where the coaches kind of reduced trusting him for one reason or another. I think Abby, you mentioned it once.
He's always had some issues with pass protection, but also just in terms of running routes, his hands. I don't necessarily know that they trusted him.
In college,
on
he wasn't
down.
that big of a receiving back either. So now, then all of a sudden, C-Mac came back, and it's almost like we forgot about all of that. But now C-Mac is gone again. I think they're going to go right back to that. Amir, we trust you a little bit more. You're the veteran. Because Chuba is a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, and again, when we're passing the ball, you're going to be the guy that gets the pass work. And let's keep in mind, with Cam there on the goal line, we might not even see Chuba get those goal line carries.
That's
anymore.
true. That's
you know,
true,
so
because
if he's not even getting the goal line carries and he's not getting the passing work, what is his true value between the 20s? And then he has to like take one to the house. Now he has the speed, but if he doesn't do that, you know, what you really getting from him? You know.
That's kind of why I'm kind of fading Mark Ingram as being like this change of pace back that may get some goal line work. Although, like, if Taysom Hill is playing, I think Taysom Hill on goal line is going to be getting those goal line runs the way that he did when Drew Brees was there.
He should.
We'll see.
He should.
He'll get some.
He's their best weapon. I think he's better than everybody except for Ingram on the goal line.
Yeah.
He'll get some. But I mean, I think it's one of those situations where, like, to me, it's just like a net neutral, net zero, whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, having the threat of Taysom Hill also opens up running lanes for Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also makes it easier for them to do a little play action pass, have Mark Ingram come out of the backfield and a little dump off. So yes, he'll lose some touchdowns, but he also may gain some touchdowns off of just like the defense, you know, focusing more on Taysom Hill.
Yeah. So Tony Jones burned us on a couple leagues. I didn't play a lot of Tony Jones.
I did.
But hey, listen, but you survived, Dio. So we're not going to go through the numbers. But
it makes me think that if I didn't play,
I did not survive.
It makes me
so
think
hot.
Me too. And it's one of those things where it was Thursday too.
Yeah.
So that means Friday, Saturday, I just gotta
And I gotta get better with this. I am so eager to watch football and watch my guys play that I just get drawn into these Thursday games. And I tell myself every week.
Oh, you play Thursday players a lot?
I can't help myself.
Yeah. It's hard not to. Yeah.
I can't help myself.
Because it raises the stakes for the game.
One game on.
Yeah.
So you can really focus in and home in on that game. I know I need to.
I'm the opposite. I'll tell Dorsey this all the time. Like, man, I don't want to play my Thursday play because I don't want to be mad for 2 days straight about, damn, why did I make this stupid mistake? Like, and I always, after the fact, I'll be like, damn, I should have known better. Like, I saw this, I saw that, and I still made this dumb decision. But I played him because I just thought he was a starting running back. You know, just that simple.
He got a lot of carries.
He had the carries.
He got 0 targets.
Dog, here's the thing, man, and we don't got to talk about this too much. We kind of talked about it in the group chat. Bro, you're playing the Bills. You're losing. Sean Payton, you're calling your offense. You're seeing the Bills at the snap have first 7 in the box and then creep up 2 other
8
guys.
in the box, 10 in the box.
They're creeping up so
12 in the box. they wouldn't even count the extra man. Coaches on the field. Everybody in the box.
and you still running the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
The interior, the strength of that defense.
I'm like,
and
what is going on?
And like, so they would bring in Ty Montgomery for obvious passing down situations. Put him on screens, and they would take him out.
It was so obvious.
It was so obvious. They were so great at calling screen passes.
Yeah.
So great at getting their running backs into the, and even Mark Ingram was getting started. You did not one screen
I kind of felt, it almost felt like
one target.
It almost felt like Sean Payton.
You getting me on my Stephen A right now. Not one. Atrocious.
It's almost like Sean Payton just kind of gave up. Like, let's just get through this game.
Oh, there was something about that did not seem right. Like, I've never seen a Sean Payton game called like that.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Tony Jones making me so mad. There was a point where he hadn't even gotten to 10 yards yet, right?
Yeah.
And then he finally got 10. And then he got lost. Oh my God! Oh, bro, you know how hot I was? Because it was like I don't know if it was a safety or a DB came from the side and just like blitzed and got a 5-yard loss. I was like, bruh, I just got 1 point and now I'm right. Anyway, sorry, I just had to get that off my chest, man.
All right.
That was therapy.
Let's go to the Tampa Bay Bucks, man. Listen, Rojo got a little burn last game. Still not enough for me.
It's still the Fournette show, though.
Yeah.
It's still
not enough to start him.
That's another league winner because of where you got him. Mm-hmm. And it was late in the draft season when I was like, man, okay, I want to go after this Tampa Bay. And I went after the wrong one, Rojo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, I mean, for those of you who were like, whether you were like on the Fournette or just got him out of luck, it doesn't matter. Like, the fact that you just like, all right, look, I want to get a running back from this like Tampa Bay offense, and I'll take a chance. Like, I think like that's something I'm gonna like try to get better at is being like, okay, even if I don't believe in a player, if I know he's on a great offense, not being maybe so aggressive in these ambiguous situations. Because I could have easily said, okay, I want to go after the Tampa Bay running back, but I'm not quite sure. let me kind of spread it out, get some Fournette here, get some Rojo here. That's where I want to diversify.
Yeah.
That's where I want to do my diversification. I don't want to do my diversification in terms of like where I did it this year, what we were talking about earlier. Like, that's where I want to diversify in these ambiguous situations where it's not clear. Get a little bit of everything, And then the guy that is not, the guy that's not the guy, then I can drop him or like, have him sit on the bench until there's an injury. So, but.
I mean, listen, Mike Evans is so boomer bust. He's so frustrating to me. He has some great games, and then like this last week, just a pedestrian game.
I don't even look at his like. I literally. Mike Evans is one of those players. He just stays in my starting lineup, and I don't even look at the box score.
I did.
So like because I already know that's who he's been his entire year.
Yeah.
So you can either play the game of like starting and sitting him, but I wouldn't recommend that. Either draft him and start him and don't even think about it, or don't draft him. That's what I would say, because I don't even pay attention to him. Like, to me, Mike Evans has been playing well.
Yeah, for me, I didn't look at it either.
I didn't even know.
I'm the same way I've been saying. Like, no, I remember watching the game and thinking, damn, Mike Evans didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
But I didn't look at it. I don't even know how many points he scored.
Yeah.
Boom, could have got 2 points. I wouldn't know. No idea.
Actually, it's funny because like one of my 9-2. Actually, I think I have 2 Mike Evans shares. Both are in the playoffs. And both are like, I think like the high like 9-2 or like, or like whatever like both have like really like top end records.
Yeah.
And he just stays in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, like he'll burn you in the playoffs because he's gonna have a bad game and then he'll just.
That's
burn
the thing
you.
about the.
Nah.
But if he has a 10 for 200 and
right.
one of these crazy like blow up games.
Yeah. Give Gronk his props too, man. Gronk is showing out. Gronk is really showing. I'm impressed.
That's another one.
Man. Yeah.
All the OJ Howard shares.
I know, but we got him at the very end. We got him at the very end anyway.
Yeah.
But OJ Howard sucks.
All right, AFC West. Listen, the Broncos decided to give everybody a contract the last couple of weeks. They gave Cortland Sutton new contract, Tim Patrick new contract. Although I think both of them, I think Jerry Jeudy is the receiver to own. I wanted to put some respect on Tim Patrick's name at our last pod. I still think he deserves it because I still think that he is a really good receiver. I really like that receiving core, to be completely honest. And
They're just preparing for Rodgers. That's all.
Right.
Like in every setup for Rodgers.
Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. But let's talk about that backfield for a second. I start Melvin Gordon because he's safe. But Javonte, I mean,
start them both. I started Javonte. I mean, I don't start him when I don't last week. I had to start him. I started him across the board, and it paid out. You're not gonna be able to guess who's gonna get the goal line touches. You're not gonna be able to guess who's gonna be able to break off a 60-yarder. They split it very, very evenly, and credit to you. That's exactly what you mentioned. You were this is, people are just assuming that Javonte is going to take over because that's what we want. This is not a coaching staff that gives a damn about what we want.
Right.
They're going to just split it evenly until someone gets hurt. And as soon as, remember, the first play of the game, Melvin Gordon got injured. And
I was like, he's dead.
We about to see the Javonte victory lap,
But then he came
on a whole nother level, and then he
came
came right back in. Because Melvin Gordon is one of those players. He's like, nah, bro. I'm not losing. I'm not. You're not about to just take the reins. So,
and that's another example of what we were talking about yesterday, as far as another backup running back. I don't even know who the backup is. I guess Javonte, somebody that has standalone value. But if an injury does occur, Yahtzee. So, I would play both of them because they both kind of have these solid floors. Whereas, regardless of how much work they're going to get, they're still going to give you enough points where you're not going to be upset.
And their defense is coming on, and they got Chubb back. Surtain looks good.
Surtain is balling.
Surtain look good. Yeah.
So, this is one of those teams, don't get late to the boat. Realize their defense is playing well. I'm very interested to see what this Denver Chiefs game is going to look like because it's a story. You got the Denver defense is just playing well. You got the Chiefs defense, which I think is turning the corner and is playing well, but they're also coming off a bye. Is the Denver defense going to be able to really sort of kind of push the brakes on how well this Chiefs offense can perform off the bye? Because Andy Reid coming off a bye usually is dynamite.
Yeah, right.
Usually coming off the bye, when they start the year, he's usually dynamite. So this is going to be one of those interesting games where I'm going to be able to. I think we're going to learn a lot from this offense.
Do we see a resurgence of CEH? Listen, we all drafted him relatively high. Do we see? Well,
Yeah.
actually, really high because second round?
Yeah.
If I'm
Second, third round.
He's-
Yeah.
second, third round. So do we see a resurgence of?
I mean, he looked good the last game,
Yeah.
and he just got back. So
Yeah.
And I think it's a situation where he's basically going to be getting about 60% of the backfield work.
right. The only other
Max.
option they have is Darrell Williams because Jarek McKinnon's on IR
Exactly.
now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
That's the nice
Well,
thing
Frank
about
Gore-
that's the nice thing about FFPC waivers. You see the IR, you like
Yeah.
he on IR. What?
yeah. they put him on yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, I'm like
so-
he's on IR. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
I got to go back and look at that. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the Raiders. Listen, not many. I mean, I think he's actually still available on a lot of waivers. Deshaun Jackson blew up last week. Do we expect that to continue? Is he going to replace Ruggs as that deep threat who can expand the field, give more? Actually make those safeties stay over the top.
I think he's like a close to almost a 1-to-1 replacement.
I think he's better.
They drafted him specifically for that role to replace Ruggs. And
Well, not drafted him, signed him.
signed him.
Signed him, yeah.
And that's a big part of their offense.
Yeah.
Whether they're actually targeting him or they're just using him to open up the middle of the field for their tight ends or definitely not Brian Edwards. I don't know what the hell is going on with him, but
Yeah.
or their running backs. Like he's a big part of their offense, and then it just takes a couple times for hopefully on a couple of those deep targets like he hits like he did last week. So. I think he's worth like you said, like again, like you in a pinch, like you need a wide receiver, like especially like in FFPC format where you really want those like spike performances. Mm-hmm. He's definitely worth a look.
The reason I say he's better is because he has the same skill set as Ruggs, but he also has that veteran savvy, that that experience. So I mean, if he does pretty much the same thing Ruggs does, but then he kind of knows how to read defenses well, how to find open spots. If you were to compare the two, I think Deshaun might be
Deshaun is better
faster as far as. I mean, I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it if he
as
was
far as
faster.
like on field play.
on
because
field
of what he
speed.
can do. Yeah, the only issue with Deshaun versus Ruggs, the only reason I say it may be close to a 1-to-1 is not because of the talent, it's because of snap percentage, routes run. Because
It's
we
just
know how.
bonehead plays too. Like Deshaun just has a number.
I'm not worried
of
about.
bonehead plays.
I mean, I get that, but that I'm not worried about. But it's more so like we know, like in offensive coordinators and coaches know that Deshaun has a significant injury history. So if this team is really trying to push for a playoff, how often are we going to be seeing him on the field running routes? That's where we may see him and Zay Jones sort of kind of interchange. Ideally, you want to see them out there as much as you see Ruggs, but I just I don't know if they want to do that.
Listen, in FFPC, we are going into the playoffs. Darren Waller is doubtful right now. Do you guys think that that's going to make a huge difference in a playoff scene?
I think you need to pick up Foster Moreau if you can.
You
think
should
you
have
really
picked
do.
him up now. Cause
If you're FFPC, he's gone already. Yeah,
But
he's
I don't
gone
know.
tonight.
I mean, Darren Waller may actually play. I mean, it was an IT band strain.
I have no idea what an IT
So
band
what is
strain
that?
is.
I've had-
Dr. Agbatoto, please explain to us. Do we need to call Carlos? Does Carl need to explain it to us? Because we have no idea.
That's from the clavicle and up. IT band is way down here. That's not my area of specialty. But I actually experienced an IT band issue, but it was after like running a marathon.
Okay.
And I think it's very common in runners. I also had an issue. What?
I was climbing a mountain in Everest, so I had a hangnail.
And then I had it again.
I was hunting elephants.
And then then I had another issue after I tore my ACL, and I was like, kind of the way that I was training, I was favoring a certain side. But it's painful, but you can play through it. I think, like depending on how severe it is. So don't 100% rule him out.
Can you jump with it?
Say what?
Can you jump with the IT?
It's painful. It's just pain tolerance.
It's
Like,
pain,
I didn't
okay.
have the luxury of people just being able to just inject something and say,
Yeah,
"Here."
I got
and they're
you.
playing for a playoff spot too. So what I would just say is just look at the playoff, look at his practice reports.
Mm-hmm.
If he's like limited tomorrow or Friday, I think there's a good chance that we may see him play.
Interesting. Okay, that's good to know, actually.
Yeah. NFC West, Arizona Cardinals. If Kyler doesn't come back this week, man, listen. I said it earlier. He has to play.
I know.
Week.
I'm gonna tell you right now, man. It's still ambiguous. It's still not certain yet. And he's practicing though, limited practicing, but they're still saying words like hopeful or we'll see and
Game time.
Yeah, like
decision.
what?
I don't like
It's
that.
been like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, he has to play. Listen, if he doesn't play, I'm kind of dead in the water on a couple teams. And, like I don't have that many teams in the playoffs. So
wait, is this a team you say you have Taysom on?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because I was actually thinking about this myself with my Jalen Hurts team, because there was some Hurts concern. Because you have to decide on Taysom tomorrow. What are you gonna do?
That's gonna be. I mean,
you have 24 hours. Less than 24 hours to decide.
Jalen Hurts makes it easy.
Yeah.
Because I feel very comfortable starting Minshew if I need to.
No, I'm talking about if you have Hurts and Taysom, because Taysom plays tomorrow.
I don't want to start Taysom first game in against the Dallas defense.
Okay.
Not knowing what his lower leg injury is, whether or not he's going to be running.
So you have concerns with Taysom himself too.
I have concerns with Taysom, and that offense has not been with that offense. There's not a lot of
we can't trust Sean Payton no more.
Offense.
Yeah, I got you.
So, but I think I would much rather. I feel more comfortable just taking 18 to 20 plus points with Minshew. And guess what? Gardner can run.
Yeah, he can.
And they're playing the Jets.
He can run well. Yeah.
So
he's a gunslinger, man.
If you have Hurts, it's different. But if you don't have Hurts, if you have Kyler, that becomes tough.
See, but here's the thing, and I think you guys talked about it earlier. I've been waiting on Taysom for a long time.
Man, you gotta.
I think I'm gonna pull the trigger and just play Taysom.
Don't let them play him on Thursday.
Also, this is his moment.
Don't let the emotion.
He should have always been the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Since the season began.
Over Jameis?
Yes.
You see, this is an example.
He should have always he should have always been a starting quarterback.
But this is an example of I want Taysom Hill to do well.
Yeah.
So I want.
I'm rolling the dice. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, well, as long as you know it.
Yeah. It's a complete dice throw.
Okay, never mind then. You do you.
It's a complete dice throw.
Let me not jinx you. Let me go.
But let's move on. Actually, no. I don't want to move on from the Cardinals because we don't know when Chase Edmonds is going. Well, actually, I think
they say he's eligible to come back up IR next week.
Next week.
But even if he comes back, man, can you really sit Connor? As the Cardinals team, Connor's been balling.
Yeah,
he has been balling.
Yeah. I mean, and he does the goal line work. So what is Chase going to give you that Connor hasn't already given you?
Y'all still have Eno?
No.
I dropped him 3 weeks
ago. Yeah.
I dropped him before I picked him up. That's how bad he did.
Dropped it, already had it. It's set to be dropped. People already had set to be dropped that same.
In my mind, I dropped him. I knew I was going to pick him up, but I knew I was going to drop him right back again.
All right, let's talk about the Rams. Darrell Henderson, he's a lock for me. Darrell?
No, he's hurt.
He may not even play.
They say he's going to play.
He may not,
but he may not play.
He literally may not play. Yeah. Make sure you have a backup.
He didn't practice today.
If you're in a home league,
they said that it was just the.
If you're in a home, don't. This is the problem.
They always say
whatever they say, ignore it. Look at the practice reports. Don't listen
what they say, bro.
Just Google practice reports.
All right.
Look at practice reports. That's it.
And have we never talked about this?
Okay.
If you ever hear a player is hurt, don't listen to not one quote.
Yeah.
If he's hurt that day, make a contingency plan.
Yeah, make a contingency
immediately.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then
if you're in a home league, go pick up Sony Michel if he's on the waivers. He shouldn't be. Just pick him up.
It's actually one of my best teams too.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to be caught holding the bag. You don't want to be late to the party.
Yeah.
If eventually they're because that's kind of the thing with Dearness. Cho was having this calf injury, and they were saying we're gonna see if he plays. Next thing you know, he's gonna be out this week.
But see, and that's some of the tricks with the FFPC and the importance of the Thursday waivers. It's
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Hashtag staying ready.
Stay ready. Yeah.
You see that guy's injured. Already assume that if he is out, that people are going to be going to the waivers to try and pick up this guy, to try and pick up a replacement, whatever replacement's out there, whether it's an Amir Abdullah or some. Get those players beforehand.
Yeah.
Get those players beforehand.
Because it's easy to drop them on Sunday morning.
It's super easy to drop him. If he's active, okay, he's gone. But have that ready. I look through my lineup and I'm like, okay, this guy looks like he's questionable. Let me make sure I have somebody available. And so if I don't, I add someone. And then I always like just having that break glass player. That way if COVID happens, this guy's already on my roster.
Mess around and be inactive 90 minutes before the game, just randomly what happened?
Man, And your sister always got me doing. She knows that like I'm gonna watch football from 12. Well, in Central Time, from 12 all the way to like tonight. And so we always got something to do like during the day.
Oh, she does.
So
it
we
on
got
purpose.
this damn Christmas tree.
She does it on
Like,
purpose.
like it's just like
She talked to my wife about that, so I know she's
It's
doing it on
always
purpose.
something.
They
It's
do it on
always
purpose.
something.
Yeah.
Well,
It's always
I mean, you know what you got, but you got to hashtag stay ready.
Yeah, you
Like,
gotta
no
stay
fault.
ready. Yeah,
You know
stay
what's
ready.
going to
Now
happen.
that you know that.
You know what's going to happen. You got to stay
That
ready.
was the funniest thing. Like when
You got to maneuver.
they have to actually see you ain't staying ready.
You ain't staying ready, bro.
You ain't staying ready. That's your fault.
Oh man, 49ers. Let's talk about them. Hey, listen. I know that you had dropped Ayuk a while back because
Who?
you were high on Ayuk, but you
Who
drafted him.
dropped him?
I never dropped him.
I never
I
dropped.
thought you dropped him because
Me?
like, you were like he's
You're
just
pointing-
not
you're pointing
in.
to me.
And then yes, and then you picked him back up.
I never dropped IU.
No.
You never dropped him.
I
No,
never.
don't.
He looks
no.
good now. I was able to pick him up on waivers.
Hey, he was one of those people that kind of Abby was referring to, like, it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah. That's what I was saying. It's like during draft season, you were high on Ayuk, and it just took a while for him to get in a good graces.
But he said, but again, like he's a player that you're not going to drop because you know the talent and you know the potential offense. Like some players, like even if they aren't performing, if there's a large amount of talent and there's a route for them to really produce, you don't want to like let those guys go. But with Ayuk, I don't necessarily know that it's just that he's come on. Like he was in the doghouse for a period of time. Debo's really come on. Their run game has been effective. They've been in games where they've just been blowing people out and they haven't been able to throw. There's been a lot of variables and a lot of reasons. Even in the games that Ayuk has really done well, you know, it's not really been on a large amount of targets. Now Debo's out now,
right.
but who do they play?
Let's see. Before
Good
it cuts
question.
off.
Is it Seattle?
It's Seattle.
I'm totally making that up. I don't know.
No, it is Seattle.
Okay.
So the question now is, make sure it's Seattle.
It's Seattle.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. So question now is like, can Russell hold up his end? Because if Russell can make this game competitive and make them and force them to have to throw, and their defense can, which I highly doubt, can slow down their run game, then we can really see Ayuk explode. But even with Debo out, I'm not expecting Debo to or Ayuk to get like 10 plus targets because Debo's out. Because guess what? The last two games, Debo has gotten like one target a game.
1 or 2 targets, yeah.
So it's just there's a lot in play there. Their defense has been playing pretty well. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. But
Dale, like, are you still rostering Jeff Wilson?
Yeah. He's one injury away.
one injury away.
He's one injury away.
All right. So
Yeah.
if Jermichael, all right.
Man, that was the biggest letdown. But again,
That did hurt.
Jags defense is pretty good. Their run defense, not the defense. Their run defense. Okay. I know Cordell came through.
Yeah.
But for the most part, their run defense is actually not bad. So
All right.
Cordell came through against the Bucks too, man. MVP. If Jeff Wilson would have scored that touchdown on that pass,
Oh, yeah,
his
yeah,
day would have looked a lot better.
Yeah.
Would have been a totally different
the
discussion
whole
we're
day
having
would
right
have
now.
looked. I bet. I guarantee if he would have caught that pass, he would have ran for 100 yards.
It wasn't about him not catching it. The pass was horrible.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that's right.
It was a horrible pass. So,
Terrible pass.
but yeah, I'm keeping him because we know he's still good. I mean, when a player has a bad game, it's not like all of a sudden he just sucks. It's not like the talent just went away. Just didn't have a good game. You know, so if he gets another opportunity, you never know what happens.
Remember, same thing happened to Alexander Madison.
Yeah.
And let's not forget he's also coming back from meniscus injury or whatever.
Who, Madison?
No. Madison had a bad game and like then then he.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Jeff Wilson just came back.
Yeah,
I got
but
you.
I'm saying,
I got you.
Jeff Wilson also just came. He's still working his way back from an injury, so he's not just gonna come back and have the same burst.
Yeah.
I I was so high on him because I felt like he was like the next man up should an injury occur.
Yeah. Also, Trey Sermon hurt his ankle.
Yeah,
The pie has been divvied up with less people now.
yeah, that's true.
So now it's only 3 running backs in that backfield. I'm just saying if Elijah Mitchell was to get hurt,
Right.
Sermon would have got some touches. Now if Elijah Mitchell gets hurt,
It's
it's just Jeff Wilson. Yeah.
Right. Is there a scenario where you bench DK Metcalf?
Yes,
I can't do it, man.
I can.
I know, and the Seahawks look so bad.
They looked bad.
I can.
But just give me that scenario. I mean,
Just depends on who you got. But I mean, there are players that I'm like fine benching him. So when I'm looking at the Seahawks, Pete Carroll has such a stranglehold over what this offense does. Forces them to run and run obvious situations. the offense just looks atrocious. Then you have Wilson. I don't think Wilson's done, but he's still working his way back from a finger fracture on his throwing hand.
Yeah.
And you see these throws that are off. The
Just kind of
strength,
Aaron throws, yeah.
yeah, the strength, the arm strength seems to be there. I don't think that's an issue. But to me, his just accuracy has been off. DK is not really a guy that just like separates. He's not like a this like excellent route runner. Mm-hmm. So eventually it'll take eventually he'll have his games, but it just depends on how you draft. In an FFPC format where you only have to start 2 wide receivers and your 2 flexes can be running backs, I try to start as many running backs as possible. People kept like taking victory laps on 0 RB. My best teams are RB robust. It just depends on which running backs you hit, and then also picking up guys like Cordell Patterson, holding on to guys like Alexander Madison, like picking up guys like Elijah Mitchell. Like, ideally, I want to start 4 running backs because I know that there's guaranteed touches there, especially ones who like catch passes out of the backfield. And then I just pick the 2 best wide receivers who have the 2 best receiving matchups. So that's what it comes down to me.
But yeah, like all the 0 RB guys, forget about people like Ridley, who are not
Hopkins, Michael Thomas, DK Metcalf,
Allen Robinson.
There's a list of them.
Yeah,
and then if you took wide receivers that early and you kept taking wide receivers, then you probably missed on some of the later round wide receivers like the Debos.
Yep.
Cooper Kupp.
The Cooper Kupps. Like, how often, so, whatever. Who knows? I mean, you could have drafted any type of way if you got.
There's been landmines everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
What about that backfield though? I mean, is it Alex Collins or bust? I mean,
no, they just signed Adrian Peterson. Don't play anybody. Don't play anybody in that running back.
I think DJ Dallas is somebody because he's getting the passing work, which means he can get some catches. He scored 8 points last week, and he didn't do anything.
8 points came in like the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, but he got 8 points. So that's a floor.
Yeah, that's true.
So and you can get him for almost nothing right now. So, but I'm not doing AP. I'm not doing AP.
It's a team that wants to run that can't run. Yeah, and looks terrible.
By the way, I think part of the reason they added AP, I think Alex Collins is hurt. I think he's been hurt too. Like I think he has a groin issue, but he's just grinding through it. Which is why I was high on DJ last week.
Yeah. Rashad Penny could have been.
Which is why you were high on Rashad Penny. Yeah.
I think they said Rashad Penny might come back this week.
I don't care.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there.
Rashad Penny, you're dead.
You're dead. All right, guys. That's 32 teams going into the playoffs.
That's it?
That's it, man. That's it.
That's all 32 teams?
Flew through
that was quick.
Yeah, that's all 32 teams.
We were blowing through. I thought we said like an hour left.
No, man.
Okay.
Listen, we can't have an hour left. I got to go up there and take care of it.
Man. Yeah,
all right, man. Like, that's it.
Neglecting his kids.
So a few players we mentioned that just don't forget Kenny Nwangwu, Juwan Jennings, Josh Reynolds. These are guys that you can probably get. James O'Shaughnessy. I mentioned Laquan Trevor. I know y'all like whatever, but they're just a guy. Rex Burkhead. Guys that you can play in pinches right now that don't just totally ignore.
So wait. One more other thing, but go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No. So I've seen on Twitter everybody checking in, basically saying how their season went, how many teams they have in the playoff. You don't want to do it?
I don't really care about it.
You're always trying to hedge.
It's not about hedging. It's just like
we ain't done yet.
It's not exactly. It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
Like, so you see that video?
Yeah,
we ain't done it. It's like we ain't done yet.
Yeah, it's not over. It's not over.
But you don't want to tell us where you're at right now?
What do you mean where I'm at? I said it.
How many teams do you have in the playoffs? You said that?
32.
32 out of how many?
48. And I got three main, 32 FFPC, 3 main. Again, man, look, I don't care because I'm trying to win. If I don't win, it doesn't matter.
It's true.
Right? It don't matter how many, like what is this, Theo, the OG fantasy, that thing you put out, it's real talk. It's like a guy in first place, they probably comfortable, like, hey, I'm the boss, I'm doing it. But you got people you got other players that's like, we try to knock you out.
Yeah.
And we trying to win that money. So you gotta stay ready. You gotta stay ready, man. Keep your head on the swivel.
A third trophy here. I don't care who gets it. I just love to see a third trophy.
That'd be great. Yeah. Shoot, Abby, you can still get it.
Look, I just want to say, look, okay, we just finished the regular season in the FFPC and other high stake leagues. Like, take a moment and just like, take a deep breath. we just finished something, a feat that was very, very difficult. To make it through the gauntlet of 11 weeks, COVID-ridden season, injury-ridden season, this season that had just high variance, more so than other years in the past.
That really stuff is just still crazy to me. Like, out of everything, stuff is the craziest thing.
Now you gotta, now
mental health is a serious thing, but how could you have just...
Exactly.
But
like, you should just, I don't know. Even though, like, only 19 of my 55 football guys, teams made the playoffs, like, once I kind of got towards the end and, like, once Tuesday came around, I felt like, I felt an extreme amount of positivity because it means a lot to be able to, every single week, twice a week, go through waivers, set lineups, hashtags, trying to stay ready, even if you're making mistakes along the way. Because guess what? All these L's that you're taking now, even if you're someone who just started in high stakes, you only had a few teams and no teams made the playoffs, all those L's will turn into lessons. Because that's how I started off. My first year in, I think I had 3 or 4 teams. They were all garbage, but I took that as lessons. Like, I tried to figure out what I did wrong and tried to become better, tried to, perfect my craft, and I continue to try and do that. So, like, at the end of all this, I just try to look back and say, okay, number one, like, pat myself on the back for just even making it through, because it's not easy. It's not easy, especially if you got multiple teams, and especially if you have family and you got loved ones and you got, demanding jobs. This is not easy. We all do it for fun, and we do it for the love of it, but it's not easy. It's a grind. So you get through this grind, pat yourself on the back. And if you were fortunate and blessed enough to have some teams make the playoffs, man, appreciate that. Even if it's just one team, take that one team. That one team could win it. So, like, stay ready, man.
And we're all iron, man. We're all just being sharpened, whether it's by other iron or just by the lessons, like you're saying, you're taking. Even if you're losing all these games, you've learned something going through this season that you're going to take into next season, and it's going to put you in a better position. You know what I'm saying? So the goal, honestly, the goal is endless, because, like Abby has 2 trophies right here. He's won twice in a row. He's still grinding. He didn't just win and just say, okay, I've done. I've reached the pinnacle. Let me go, like Thanos, and just kind of chill and with my, my harvest. He's like, man, I'm trying to win the next one. So, and as long as he's playing fantasy, he's gonna keep trying to win the next one. So, just take lessons every week, really. Try to keep getting better and just kind of keep going at it.
Real talk. These last few games, like to finish up the season. These last few games, man, I'm telling you, these are the games that you really want to lock in as you prepare for next year. Because what happens in these next 5 to 6 games to finish the year, and even in the playoffs, will carry over. Guys that sort of really come out of nowhere, or guys that start look like they turn the corners, or guys that look like like the Todd Gurley's of the 2019 that look like something's not right. You should remember that. You need to be writing all of this stuff down and try to lock it in. And this will allow you to separate yourself from the groupthink that is inevitable once draft season starts. So that Jonathan Taylor, who I thought was worth a top 3 pick, I should have held on to that belief, as opposed to now viewing him towards the back end of the drafting season as a back end of the first, second round pick. Hold on to those beliefs, because that's really where you'll be able to set apart. And if you can hold on through that throughout the drafting season, because you saw, a number of data marks that led you to believe a certain player was going to take off, hold on to that, and vice versa. So don't pay, even if you're not in it, pay attention to these last few weeks, because it's gonna make a huge difference when it comes to drafting.
How many FFPC? I said 32, right? Yeah, 32. Okay.
By the way, guys, if I win it all, I'll never play fantasy football again. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, you will.
It's like going to Vegas and putting all your money up like you hit. You take the money and you leave. I'll never play again. There's no way that I win again.
Let me tell you why you're going to play again.
I'll never play again.
Because you're going to have so much money that a small percentage of it is going to be enough to pay entry fees for a good amount of teams, so you're just going to roll with it.
No, I'm just going to take the money and I'll never play again.
You're going to play again, man.
I'll pay my taxes on it and I'll never play again.
You'll play again, man.
I'll get y'all good gifts, though.
Hey, but look,
that is,
stay ready, all right? Keep grinding.
Yeah.
I got my thing, Walk Boys Down season. If y'all don't know,
Hashtag
probably started
Walk
slow,
Boys Down.
but if you just keep at it, man, those guys at the top, they get complacent. They get complacent. They chill at the top of that perch like everything's all good, and you just slowly coming back and catching up to like DK Metcalf when he walked down Bubba. What's his name?
I forget, but
Bubba
I know
Baker.
Yeah,
Is that his name? Buddha Baker. So yeah. So don't stop that grind, and let's all kind of meet at the top, man.
All right, guys, that's our playoff episode. Please like, rate, subscribe.
Fourth quarter, let's go.
We're out.
Coming at the barbershop too lit.